Hello and welcome to Mountain Patriot Homestead. We are in the kitchen, and that must mean that we're going to be preparing a recipe. And that's true. We are going to prepare a cake today, and it's called Pickin cake. Now, I'll explain a little bit more about what a pickin cake is, but first of all, I want to extend a very happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that are out there. I love y'all. I'm a mother of 3 sons. If you've watched this channel more than 1 or 2 times, you've probably heard me mention that the reason I even have a YouTube channel is not to become incredibly wealthy, because if that's what I'm hoping for, I'm going to starve to death. But the reason is for my sons. It is for a legacy for them to be able to share our lives, because now they're adults and they live far away. They can see what we're doing here, and I can share recipes and anecdotes and sometimes antidotes if we're talking about medicinals or such. But it's just a way of me sharing with my boys and also sharing with you. And I'm glad that you're here as a part of that. And we're going to be preparing a very delicious cake here very shortly. But first of all, I want to share just a glimpse back at my boys. Being a first-time parent is never easy. Kids don't come with instruction manuals, and when you're only 19, you still haven't gotten things figured out, even though you think you do. But bless his heart, as my eldest, he was kind of mama's guinea pig on learning how to be a new mama. But, he sailed through it, and I couldn't have asked for a better child to learn with. 22 months later, my red-headed, brown-eyed child showed up, and this child never has met a stranger. He's funny, lovable. He used to go up to anybody. We would take him to church, and he would hug everybody in the church, and it didn't matter if he knew him or not. That was just the way he's always been. So he's never met a stranger, and I think it served him well in life. And 5.5 years later, our dark-haired, dark-eyed child showed up, and the 3 musketeers were complete. And life is truly an adventure when you are a boy mom of 3 that are so totally different in personalities, but they all 3 have always been, I guess children are just a source of entertainment. I don't know if that's the way that parents should look at it or not, but I'm telling you what, there was never a dull moment. If you thought you were going to have a dull moment, you better buckle up, because you were fixing to find out that, nope, wasn't happening. But, I would not trade being a boy mom for anything. I think I've always thanked the Lord for my boys, because he knew what he was doing when he gave me boys, because I wouldn't know what to do with little girls. I really don't. They're cute, but I don't know what to do with them. And so I'm so glad that I am a boy mom, even though my boys aren't boys anymore. And I just don't know where the years have gone. If I could do anything to go back, I would, and try to correct those things that I've learned as I've gotten older that I messed up on when they were kids. I'd try to fix those things, but I hope they know that I really tried my best, even though I did screw up, and I still do. But, I love those kids, and I've always told them that I'm their biggest fan. Of course, they have wives that may disagree with that, but, you know, I look back at these little faces and they still have my heart, and they always will. They're the best thing in my life I've ever done, and they are three grown men now. I am so, so proud of them, and there is nothing that I would trade for the experiences that I've had and have of being their mom. So, boys, I love y'all. And thank you for your gifts that you've sent me. But most of all, thank you for the gift of being yourselves and being good men. And I love you always. So let's get cooking. To understand a pig pickin' cake, it's important to know what a pig pickin' is. Well, in Southern terms, a pig pickin' is when you get together with a bunch of friends and you barbecue a whole hog and then you sit around picking on it and eating the meat off the bone. Now, of course, we'll barbecue anything here in the South, so it could be beef, it could be chicken, we might even be grilling up some shrimp, who knows, but regardless, it's a pig picking cake. Before I put my ingredients together, what I've done is taken my 9 by 13 baking dish and just used one of my butter. I save these when I remove butter from the wrapper. I save these in the refrigerator because I use them for just such purposes as greasing the inside of this pan, put in some parchment paper, and then greasing it again. And that is going to give me a hopefully non-stick surface, so let me set that aside. I also have the oven preheated to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I'm going to give you fair warning. If you're the type of person who cringes when anyone uses a processed ingredient on any of these videos, you might want to go ahead and turn the video off, because this is pretty much all gonna be processed. Even my hens process my eggs, but yeah, this is going to be not from scratch. This is just a yellow cake mix that you can make your own yellow cake mix if you want to. Use your favorite recipe, but my recipe for this cake uses a box mix. The first thing we're going to start doing is going to take those 4 fresh eggs from my girls and 3/4 cups of oil. Now, if you want to use coconut oil, that would be wonderful in this recipe, because it's going to give that little bit of coconut flavor in with it. And it's just going to kick up, I think, the flavor of this just a little bit. You know, it's not going to be overwhelming coconut or anything, but if you like coconut, it is going to give you a little bit of coconut flavor there. Yes, I know I'm splashing and sloshing because, again, I'm working around the camera here. And you just whisk this together. So see, simple so far. No problems there. So you just get that beat together. Then you're going to add your cake mix. Nothing special here. Just dump that bugger in there. There you go. And then you're going to mix it. Don't you love making messes? That's not what I was about to say, but if you've watched my videos very often, you will see that, yeah, I rarely get out of the kitchen without some type of a mess. As a matter of fact, I was earlier today, actually it was last night, was making Pepper's dog food. I make her homemade dog food here at home, which usually is what you do with homemade stuff. And I used the pressure cooker, my large pressure canner cooker, to cook, whew, that's got thick, to cook the chicken. Well, I was trying to rush, which is never a good idea in the kitchen. Unless a recipe says rush, rushing is usually not a good idea. But I thought I would try to rush it when it was done and do a quick release on the pressure valve. And of course, any of you that know anything about pressure cooking know that that is a good way to make a mess. And I sprayed chicken broth across my counters before I was able to get it turned off. So I did get it turned off. Didn't make too big of a mess, but yes, messes in the kitchen. You know, I know some people out there never make a mess in their kitchen, and I am so happy for you. I'm so glad you're able to do that. I am not one of those people. All right, I've got my cake mix mixed in there. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a can of mandarin oranges, juice and all. I'm just going to pour that right in there. I'm just going to mix that up, folding it in. Now, if that looks like a lot of juice to you, it looks like a lot of juice to me too, but don't get worried yet. We'll get worried later if it doesn't cook up and we end up eating it with a spoon. Well, I'm still not going to worry about it. I'll just eat it with a spoon, but yeah. Just mix it. You know, you're not mixing it so hard that you're going to break your oranges up. And if you'll notice right back here in the back, I kept out a few just to, I know if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that with cakes and stuff, I don't normally make them just real pretty. So I thought, well, since I'm fixing this for me for Mother's Day, you know, I'm going to make it pretty for me. Probably not, but, you know, that was the thought in my mind. But I set aside a few of the oranges. I'm sorry, guys. I am just sitting here, my elbows just getting after this tripod, bumping it. So if you feel like you're on the Titanic, just hang on. But I set aside a few of those oranges, hopefully to use on top when we get ready to do the topping, to hopefully make it pretty. We'll see. Again, I eat ugly, so if it ain't pretty, I'll eat it ugly. So here we go. Whew, about dropped that bowl. Then y'all would have got to see all kinds of a mess. All right. Let's get all that off in there. Don't want to waste none. I get tickled watching some of these videos because some people, if they leave behind a half a teaspoon, there's people yelling about it. If the people scrape it all out, people's yelling because it takes too long. It's like, y'all wouldn't be happy if you got hung with a new rope, would you? But I know y'all ain't that way. I got good watchers. All right, there we go. So, okay. If you're wondering what I'm doing, other than making noise, see these bubbles as they come up? That helps get rid of part of the air pockets in there. Alright, there we go. So I've got that. I'm going to stick it in the oven for about, 25 to 35 minutes. My oven is getting old, and it usually takes a little bit longer than what recipes call for, so, it may be 40 minutes that'll take mine, but you just have to use your best judgment with your oven. Yours may only take 25 minutes, but you want to check it at 25 and then just keep increasing it from there. And then we're going to take it out and take a look. Alright, so let's make sure it is ready. There you go. It has come out clean, so our cake is done. And now the hardest part is we've got to wait for it to cool before we can put any frosting on it. So y'all just bear with me. We got to cool it off first. Somehow I lost this portion of the video where I am making the frosting. All I have done is put 16 ounces of thawed Cool Whip, a 3.4 ounce package of instant vanilla pudding, and 15 ounces of crushed pineapple with the juice, and you mix that up all good just to make your topping, and that is all it requires. It's nothing fancy, and that's why I can just do this voiceover to explain it. I do apologize for whatever happened with this portion of the video. What I did is I just flipped it over, took the parchment paper off, and put it back into the pan. And if you want to put it out onto a pretty plate, you could do that. But again, this is, as I said in the beginning, this is a cake I've made for myself. I'll share, but if I want to leave it in my pan and it's my cake, I guess I can do that. What do y'all think? Do y'all have a pretty cake pan that you use for taking your cakes somewhere or serving them to guests? I really don't. This says use 15 ounces of this Cool Whip and stuff. Wow, that is, that's like really a lot. That is really, I got a piece of fuzz right there. Let me get that off of there. Would rather not eat fuzz. I about ate 2 mosquitoes when I was outside a while ago. I say mosquitoes, I don't know if it was mosquitoes. It was something buzzing and about flew in my mouth, but I think they realized their mistake at the last minute and decided to go somewhere else. Okay, I think the topping is piled about as high as the cake is, but you know what, it sure is pretty. And that frosting tastes good. Okay, alright, so remember those little oranges that I left to decorate with a while ago? I'm no decorator, so I don't really know how to do this. Just kind of stick them up there, I reckon. Have any of y'all ever taken like cake decorating courses or anything? My mama, I don't think ever took a formal cake decorating class, but she got one of those Wilton's little decorating books, and she would make the prettiest cakes. She would look at that book and she would figure out what she'd need to do, and she'd make the most beautiful cakes. So, there we go. Again, I'm no cake decorator, so forgive me if it's not perfect, but what do y'all think? Do you think that looks edible? Now, of course, this bowl or dish. With the butter has baked on the rim of it now, but regardless, I think it turned out okay. But there's only one way to figure out whether it's truly okay or not. So why don't we give it a taste test? Well, here we go. This is our pig pickin' cake for pig pickings, for pea pickings, for social gatherings, or for Mother's Day. Let's see. Yeah, looks moist. Well, we know that's moist. So, guess there's only one thing left to do, huh? That's really good. Now, one of the things that you're supposed to do is let this set up for about 30 minutes before you eat it. But of course I didn't do that. Pretty sure I never do that. But, you might want to set yours in the refrigerator for 30 minutes and let it chill, because this stuff on top, your frosting, will get a little thicker. I mean, it's fine for me, but if you want it to thicken up or whatever, stick it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes and it'll be the way it's supposed to be. The way it would be if you're taking it to a pig picking. But regardless, this is really good. It's got it's got that flavor of those mandarin oranges and of course that pineapple. So it kind of takes you to the tropics. But, I really don't want to go to the tropics. I want to be right here at Mountain Patriot Homestead, and I'm going to enjoy my pig picking cake. And I hope that you enjoy your day or night wherever you are, and know that I love you. And I hope you come back again real soon. Mountain Patriot Homestead, signing out.